The quarterback position right now is just it's worse than what it has been for the last decade.
I don't know. Everybody loves CJ, man, and these Houston Texans. Everybody's all over.
He the only one. He the only one. Love CJ, man.
That's all over CJ. Hey, CJ cool. CJ's cool, and he had a really good year, but he also was playing from where there was no expectations. And I'm not. This is not a hate segment at all on CJ Stroud because I think he's a phenomenal quarterback. But are we just expecting the Houston Texans to be like this elite level team now? Is he automatically going to get better in his second year? Sometimes quarterbacks go through progressions where they're really good for a time and then they kind of tear off for a second.
Yeah.
We've seen it happen before where they set the league by storm. And then there's a sophomore slump. Now I want to say I think his sophomore slump's going to happen because they put the right tools around CJ this year, getting Diggs, getting Joe Mixon this offseason, buffing up the defense even more than it was last year. Like, I think they did a lot of good things. But they still have to prove that they're not like a young football team that has to go through things. They caught people off guard last year. This year, are they like a serious like AFC title contender? Is that what they are?
I'm not going to lie, bro. They're winning their division. I don't see anyone else winning that division besides the Houston Texans. Put that in right now. I'm not going to lie. It's a plus right now. You might as well put that in.
So what is it right now? Plus 105 to win the division?
Plus 105. And the over-under, I think, is what? You put 9.5 wins? That's what it's at?
9.5 wins. That's low. That's for a team that everybody's expecting to be like this goated team.
They're winning the division. And that's easy money right there. 9.5 wins over. And they're winning their division. That's easy bread to make right there, bro. Because I'm not going to lie. You get Stephon Diggs, you have Tank Dell, and you still got Nico Collins, even though he's a tryhard. You got Damian Pierce. You feel me? And this crew under D'Amico Ryans, like this was a young crew, and young crews who spent time together, they just get better as time goes on, right? And that defense is gonna get better as time goes on. The more familiar that they get with them.
It's funny because we heard this about a team last year that started off 8-3 and ended up missing the playoffs. Quarterback going to take another leap. Quarterback's going to enter the top 5. They signed they traded for a stud receiver, a team in the same division. The defense got better. Another year under Doug Peterson. And now the Jags are going to be the best team in this division. And lo and behold, what happened? They couldn't finish a job and they didn't win the division. So are we doing the same thing with the Houston Texans right now that we did last year with the Jacksonville Jags and crowning them a little too early?
No, for 2 reasons. I think everybody believe in what's his name? What's the wide receiver that they got? Calvin Ridley. It was just nothing but pure dick suck. Because Calvin Ridley, honestly, I keep telling people, like, Calvin Ridley to me wasn't this like crazy top tier of wide receiver, right?
I did not understand that.
Bro, I'm serious. Like, he was not this level of like wide receiver that everyone thought he was, bro. A lot of his games he was performing well is when he was next to Julio Jones, who had a crazy amount of attention, right? So then he kind of like, and then the games when Julio would be sitting out because he got hurt, he kind of caught people off guard. But then he stopped playing in the league because he kept gambling and getting hurt. So
Calvin was him. Nah, in Atlanta, Calvin was him, bro. Because he was getting force fed when he was
he had one good season.
That one season was proven he was legit. Calvin was legit. He took the year off from football, and everybody just assumed he was going to pick up where he left off in that Atlanta offense. And Trevor ain't Matt Ryan. Trevor spreads the ball out. That's the difference. And they don't understand that.
How many receivers have one good season and then they showed that they wasn't shit, man? That's exactly what Calvin Ridley did.
Calvin was elite, though. He was an elite prospect coming out. That's the difference. Like,
he was a good prospect.
Calvin was an elite prospect, and then he went to Jacksonville. But when you got a guy like Christian Kirk, who the team paid $20 million, overpaid for Christian Kirk, and you think he's not going to be a part of the offense? You think he's going to be at least part of? He was
overpaid?
Overpaid. He was overpaid. Well,
no, he earned that.
At the time, he was overpaid.
At the time, he was overpaid.
You're right. He's earned it now. He's earned it now. But I'm like, Calvin, that whole Calvin Ridley thing, it was just like we assumed that this team was going to take the next level because they got a receiver and they got some defensive pieces. I think Jacksonville will be better this season. And Trevor Lawrence did get hurt last year. I gotta note that Trevor Lawrence did get hurt. So in the middle of the season.
But this is the difference between the Texans and the Jaguars. Ridley wasn't Diggs. He just wasn't. Yeah, Ridley wasn't Diggs. Diggs is a top 5, top 10 wide receiver. Not even a debate. That's exactly where he's at, right?
I agree.
Then you have Tank Dell.
You missed Nico Collins first. Dog. Nico Collins before Tank Dell. You have Nico Collins, then Tank Dell.
You think Nico better than Tank?
I know Nico better than Tank.
Yo, get the hell out of here with that.
Nico's better receiver than Tank. He proved that last year.
What?
He proved that last year.
Tank was the one balling for them last year. What are we talking about?
Tank had the splash plays, bro. He got hurt, so you're not gonna be able to like compare apples to apples. Nico got hurt at times too. So, but Nico, he finished with like 1,200 yards last year. Everybody's saying Tank the number one. I don't understand that shit, bro. You guys just let these small receivers for whatever reason. I don't understand this shit, bro.
Bro, I mean, honestly, that's the generation where we at right now. The slot receiver is actually very important. And shout out to Cooper Kupp for making it like that, you know. Kupp. But nobody really seen the value in that until recent memory. And, you know, Tank Dell, what he's able to do, they need each other, right? I think things aren't going to happen. They need each other. It's almost similar to like Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp when they were together. So I think they need each other. They're both great in their own right. But
Let me ask you this, though. For the Texans, right? We're talking about these receivers and shit, talking about the team. Obviously, they're in a tough division. I think it's going to be for them to win. But you think, obviously, we're talking about their next level. You think they can get to the Super Bowl and win? Because right now, they're like plus 1,600 to win the Super Bowl. Like, I want to say that's like 10th or 15th out of all the teams in the NFL to win the Super Bowl, plus 1,600. Is that a team you'd be like, I got an extra $200. I throw that down and it's going to hit?
Nah, I'm going to take that to the casino. Why would I even do that? Shout out to Colado for becoming a member. Appreciate you, baby.
Hey.
That's my girl, Claire, man. Love Claire, bro. That's my homie. Not my homie. That's my baby.
That's your
love
baby?
You, bro. Yeah,
that's
I love
baby. That's your is that the Yes Jewels? Because I heard some shit about her that got Kanye, her and Kanye. Yo.
No. But fuck, what was I saying? I got distracted.
We talking about Houston, man. 16,
that's what she do to me, man.
1,600.
No, but 1,600 to win the Super Bowl. The thing is, I actually believe in CJ. Like you're comparing Trevor Lawrence to CJ. I think it's completely two different things.
Why?
Because I think CJ, clear cut, was the better rookie. He was performing at the better level.
Yeah.
And he's just been so much more complete, doesn't make mistakes, not really too inconsistent, right? So in my head, I'm like, and then even in the postseason, he had a great postseason compared to Trevor Lawrence. People talk about him coming back from that deficit. Bro, he threw 4 picks in the game, man.
Yeah.
Even when he faced the Ravens, a crazy defense, CJ Stroud still didn't even do that. So in my head, I'm like, yo, I believe in CJ. You have Diggs, who's a bona fide top-tier wide receiver. You have Dell. You have Nico. This is perfect for you. You're a great prospect. And that offense, compounded with how good that defense, how better that defense is going to be. I'm not going to lie. If I had, I'll put 50.
Yeah.
Screw it. I have 50 down to sit here and put 1,600. Put 50 down real quick. Why not? And if they win, they win. Maybe make it to the Super Bowl. What's their odds to make the Super Bowl? Plus 800?
I have to check. Yeah, it's probably close to like 800 plus 800. Probably something closer to that.
I'll put 50 down on that real quick and see what's up later on in the season, right? I really like this team. I really like what they're doing. And I believe in CJ, bro. If he have another season like he did last year, he's a top 2 quarterback. He's better than everyone else.
So Mahomes, though, but Mahomes in the AFC. So that's the only thing you're going up against there. But I still think Trevor's going to have a much better season. Like the pressure's off of him this year. He's going to be fully healthy this year. They were red hot to start the year, like 8-3. I think they were like on pace to be. I want to say they were the number 1 seed in the AFC for a good portion of the year, 8-2 even. Like I can't remember exactly what it was, but. I think Trevor Lawrence is in for like a massive season without the pressure of like, I got to get the ball to Calvin Ridley. And I want to say he like hurt his ankle or something like that in week 6 or week 7 or week 8. I can't remember exactly now going back and looking at it. But I think Trevor Lawrence is in for like a mega breakout season. The prospect we all love, the generational, the best prospect since Andrew Luck. I think we see a different version of Trevor Lawrence this year. And I think the Jags go back and win that division.
Nah, not with the Houston Texans, bro. I mean, I understand your point with Trevor Lawrence, but
because we saw the same thing from him 2 years ago when he had that crazy second half run where it looked like Trevor Lawrence. Oh, we're like, oh shit, this is the Trevor Lawrence we're used to. This was like 2 years ago, and then he went to the playoffs. They had the comeback, obviously, but it's like the expectations were just through the roof for that Jacksonville team, and I kind of worry about that for Houston this year. Like, when you catch everybody off guard, they love you. And then when you have expectations and you fail to meet them, that's when everybody turns against you. So,
but that's the thing with Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence performed similar to what he did in his second year. Like that's exactly what happened with him. Excuse me. That's exactly what happened with him last year. He was struggling. He was inconsistent in his second year. But like you said, in that second half, he really turned things up. And almost similar thing happened last year. Like he was inconsistent for a good portion, and he started turning it up towards the second half of the year. I think that's just more of who he is. He's kind of like, yo, this is gonna be disgusting. It's kind of like Dak Prescott, bro. Like,
oh yeah,
not gonna hold
nah. Dak was legit last year.
I get Dak Prescott vibes. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah, that's nasty work right there, bro.
I'm sorry, like I swear.
So
he
you think
Trevor
Lawrence is just gonna be like a streaky quarterback the rest of his career? You don't think he has like elite? I think there's gonna be like, there's gonna be like an MVP type season out of Trevor Lawrence one day. Soon,
maybe
one day soon.
But Dak was about to have that before he got hurt. You remember that year?
When he broke his ankle. Yeah, when he broke his ankle.
That man was about to have an MVP caliber season, bro. I swear. So I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like he just, like I swear, bro. I like he's like the Dak Prescott for the Jaguars, man. And Doug Peterson. The thing with Doug Peterson, bro.
Cold, bro.
I know it's disgusting what I'm saying right now.
He's only 30. This is only his fourth year in the league. Like we just gotta get. I feel like we gotta give T-Law time in the same way. If this happens with CJ. The same thing. If CJ struggles at any point in time, we're gonna have to pull the reins back a little bit. We can't just crown everybody the next Patrick Mahomes.
But the thing with Doug Peterson too, and also it's not even just T-Law, so I'm gonna be fair to him.
Yeah,
it's also Doug Peterson. I'm not a believer in Doug Peterson like that. I think him coming in his rookie, his second year to win the 2017 chip, I think that was important. But I think Doug Peterson a lot of times gets in his own way, and especially with quarterbacks that he's really behind. He just wants to put so much workload on those guys to do so much that he needs to get back to the basics of just running the football. Like that's where he was his most successful. 2017, we had one of the best rushing teams in the league, and Carson Wentz was fiending off of that.
Yeah.
Then when Carson had his MVP caliber season, he was like, all right, cool, Carson, you're going to throw the ball 40 times every fucking game. I'm like, bro, why the hell are we even doing that? And similar things is happening with Trevor Lawrence right now. And I'm not too convinced that Doug Peterson is really the coach to put that team where they need to be.
We're going to see, because they should have definitely addressed the running back position. I know they got Travis Etienne and they're happy with him, but that dude's not meant to handle the load for the entire season. He ain't built to do that. He's built to be more kind of like that dynamic, electric playmaker. And then all they got, Tank Bigsby behind him. They should have been in the market for a running back this year, somebody to back him up. But I don't know, man. I love what they're doing out there. Like Jacksonville, I feel like they're going to do the right things. You're right, though, about Doug Peterson. He has his flaws. But if they can somehow just get the most out of Trevor and let him be Trevor, which I think is a good thing. I think it's a good thing when he's throwing the football more, the ball's in his hands, outside of the fumbles and the interceptions.
Yo, you're crazy.
Outside of turnovers, that's what it is. He got a lot of turnovers. I think T-Law, man, it wouldn't surprise me this year if he was like in the MVP conversation as soon as this season.